Welcome to the season finale for Screen Riot. This week's movie is the 1951 Alfred Hitchcock film noir, Strangers on a Train. This episode will contain major spoilers, so if you haven't seen the movie yet, it's available to stream on all the major services. Go check it out and come back to the podcast because this is Screen Riot.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the show. As Eddie said at the beginning, we're taking a look at Strangers on a Train, 1951 film noir from the famous Alfred Hitchcock. The movie runs a runtime of 1 hour and 41 minutes. It's rated PG, and this was chosen by Eddie because of our season finale spin. And all the viewers of our Patreon viewers got to choose out of the 4 movies. They all chose Strangers on a Train, so here we are. So Eddie, this was your one film noir. This is your one moment.
One moment to shine.
Yeah.
One moment to shine. So why don't you go ahead and tell us, everybody, what Strangers on a Train is all about?
Strangers on a Train is about a psychopath who approaches a tennis star on a train, hence the title, and basically makes a proposition that the two exchange murders, that they murder the other person that they might want to rid themselves of in their everyday life. And yeah, the rest is kind of history. It's kind of a strange movie from that perspective, but because one guy wasn't really in on the whole scheme per se. But
Yeah,
that
because
is
he
that
was
is the
just like
summary.
he was basically like, oh well, this guy is nuts.
Yeah.
I'll see you later. You guys, you have fun with your fancy little psychotic dreams. Okay, bye.
Yeah.
I blame Guy for everything that happens to him.
I kind of agree
I
with
blame
you,
Guy
actually.
for everything because
Yeah.
he played into it. He's like, this guy's freaking crazy. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, we can commit double murder, sure, no problem. And he just walks off. So,
Well, yeah,
I mean,
but-
it's all
but every
Guy's
time
fault.
that-
It's like you tell a crazy guy, yeah, you can kill my wife. Okay.
Two fellows meet accidentally, like you and me. No connection between them at all. Never saw each other before. Each one has somebody that he'd like to get rid of. So, they swap murders.
He's gonna
Well,
do
every
it.
time that Bruno speaks, he's like, well, just hypothetically, what would happen? Like, who would you kill? Right? Come on, hypothetically. It's just games, right? It's all fun and games.
Mm.
Come on.
Does he
It's all
say
games.
hypothetically that much though in that? Honestly, because I mean I don't remember.
It
if he
doesn't
did.
necessarily say hypothetically, but he's basically just alluding to that.
Gotcha.
He's like, oh
Okay.
well, I mean, we're not talking about real. It's just like, come on, who would you murder?
Yeah.
Does he say that to Guy in the train, or is that the scene where at the party with the older women that he's saying?
I think he
"Oh,
did
come
that
on,
both. I think in the train and at the party.
I know he did it at the party. That's
Yeah.
definitely because he was trying to like get people on his side at that point. But on the train, I don't know. On the train, he says it, and Guy, and this is where I'm kind of with John. Guy kind of says he's like, yeah, Bruno, yeah, of course, yeah, like you're fucking nuts. But
Yeah.
he doesn't just say no. Like he's,
Well, yeah.
but again,
I mean-
if he said no movie. I mean, the movie
Bruno
would be
was
honestly,
like,
yeah.
Bruno was like Sheldon in Big Bang. He doesn't get sarcasm.
Yes, Strangers on a Train would be a short at that point. It's two guys. One guy says murder. The other guy goes, no.
Nah.
Credits. Like that's
Finn."
it's very short at that point.
Thanks for the lunch. Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I thought the lamb chops were a little overdone myself.
Nice meeting you.
Now, you think my theory's okay, Guy? You like it?
Sure, Bruno, sure. They're all okay.
I think Bruno was a budget Jack Lemmon.
I think Bruno was gay, but we'll talk about that in a little bit too if you guys want.
Well, yeah,
Well,
because
he
that
has
was
been
actually
very
kind of a
effeminate.
major, like not necessarily a ploy, but kind of a slide it under the rug type thing in the movie. That okay, why is he dressing so flamboyantly? And
Yeah, and he's close with his mother and all that kind of stuff. Hitchcock's got a
Oh,
weird
mother.
thing with his mother. Like there's always weird shit with moms in Hitchcock movies. But anyway, I don't mean to jump straight to Bruno's gay. My fault. We shouldn't talk about that yet.
You're not
Every
supposed to
boy
talk
loves
about
his
Bruno.
mother, Eddie.
Huh?
Every boy loves his mother.
Yeah, but not as much as Bruno. Bruno really likes his mom and hates his dad. Little Oedipal Rex situation happening there, pretty strong.
I do wish you'd keep your hands quiet. You're so restless lately.
I like them to look just right.
Did I file them too short?
Oh, no, Ma, they're just fine.
Thanks.
Okay, so the painting that she did,
That's what
Miss
you want to call that.
Anthony.
Yeah.
That creepy ass thing.
Yes.
Wasn't there an artist that actually was going through either like stages of dementia, and he was actually like painting himself a self-portrait, and then throughout the phase of dementia, that it got worse and worse.
There's a famous picture that shows like he did a self-portrait at like 18 and like another one at 30 and then there's something and it just gets crazier.
Yeah, and that's immediately what I thought of when she was like, "Oh, look, it's a portrait of your father," or something like that.
I think Bruno kind of talks about that later on too. Whenever Anne goes to the house and she's like, the mom leaves, and Bruno's like, "Oh, the poor thing, her mind's not even there," and all that. Like he basically tells us that she's nuts. I mean, she doesn't even notice that her son's a psychopath. Like she does everything she can to kind of laugh it off. So I don't think she is all there. I think that's pretty strong. That's a pretty strong argument for that as well.
And then she goes on to play Aunt Clara.
Yeah.
And Bewitched.
Well, and back then that was kind of the standard. Okay, no, we have money.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's fine.
Yeah.
Everything's fine. No one is crazy here.
Wait a minute.
Bruno is perfectly normal, perfectly healthy.
Is he wearing a lot of cravats, walking around the house in silk robes? Nope, he's perfectly normal. He's normal. Nothing to see.
Every son gets their fingers manicured by mom. It's fine.
Oh, the sponge baths were amazing. Anyway, yeah. I don't know. I didn't like. Okay, so getting off of Bruno and the mom for a second. The first wife. I'm reading Guy's first wife's name, Miriam.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was an awful bitch.
If I'd known what all that tennis nonsense of yours was going to lead to, I wouldn't have run out on you.
What are you trying to say, Miriam?
I'm not getting a divorce.
You little double-crosser. I didn't want this divorce. You did. That's what you've been harping about for the past year.
It's a woman's privilege to change her mind. Now, I can buy me some pretty new clothes.
Like, I couldn't imagine.
For sure.
Yeah, I was kind of happy when Bruno strangled her. I was rooting for that.
Wow.
One. I was like, okay, cool. Like, let's get this party started, Bruno. Oh, she's awful too. That's fun. This is gonna be good. And then murder.
Why do you think she was awful?
Why do I think she was awful?
Sleeping around on Guy, was pregnant with some other guy's baby, and decides, hey, you know what? I'm not gonna give you the divorce that I wanted a year ago.
Yeah,
right.
So
that's just cold. That's a cold hard bitch right there.
So there's that, and then on top of that, she's going out to the carnival with two dudes that are obviously in for a threesome. Just want to point that out. Just saying. And then at the same time, she's right.
Tunnel of love to Threesome Island.
Pretty much. And then at the same time, she's eyeing another dude who's following them at the carnival. And she's not like, ooh, this person's going to hurt me. She's like, hey, after I'm done with these two, you're next.
Can you blame her? He really rung the bell. He really rung her bell, man.
I guess so, yeah.
Red hot, right over here. Here we go. Just won a Cupid.
I don't know. I wasn't very fond of Miriam when she was strangled. I didn't feel anything. Talking about the tunnel of love, by the way, I like the shadow thing they did in the tunnel.
Oh yeah.
The three of them were on the boat and they got closer and he like kind of got big and sort of
and he like engulfs them with the shadow. Yeah, that was pretty creative.
It also ties in with her screaming too.
Yes.
So you're thinking, ooh, did he kill her in the tunnel?
Get it in the tunnel.
He's like, yes.
No.
Like, no,
because I'm wondering, it's like, what is he going to do? He's in a completely different boat. Why is he following them into this tunnel of love? It obviously has to come back to the dock.
Apparently not, by the way.
Apparently not. Apparently you just rent the boat and you can do whatever the hell you want. Go kill somebody and come back.
Drive to Cuba. Because it's not on a track. I've never seen a boat ride not on a track.
So it was
back then, man, it was crazy. Back in the 50s, it was like whatever.
But it was like Makeout Island. Like when they got to the other side, there were couples like in the weeds and stuff.
Wasn't it called Magic Island or something?
Yeah, whatever. Which again is where Miriam was going with these two dudes. I mean, Hitchcock made it pretty plain that she was having a threesome with these two guys. I just think that's crazy for the 50s, especially. I'm like, holy shit, that's risque. Oh, and she's pregnant with some other guys, dude. And she's eyeing Bruno. Like, Jesus, this is a
Talk about pushing the envelope.
yeah. This is a pretty. She's a busy lady. I'm surprised she has time to work.
She's probably attracted to everybody just because she's blind as a bat.
That's very possible. Which, speaking of, I thought
soda bottles,
just like the shadow thing, I thought the murder sequence happening in her glasses was kind of fun. I wasn't like, oh my god, but at the same time, I was kind of like, oh, that's a neat little effect. It kind of gets your
good film trick.
Yeah,
very Hitchcock.
Yeah, exactly.
Showing it without showing it,
Yeah, well, there was that, and when Bruno was standing on the steps of the Jefferson Memorial. I thought that was pretty. I mean, it was a cool shot. At the same time, completely unrealistic. DC's never that empty, but in terms of it being just kind of a cool shot, him standing starkly against the Jefferson Memorial was kind of cool, I thought.
So basically, Casey Rogers, the chick y'all hate, and I guess I hate too. I was just wanting you elaborate of why you had so much hate for her.
Are we talking about Miriam?
Yeah, she was terrible.
Yeah.
But Casey Rogers, that's the real girl's name.
Okay.
But she had stated that she had perfect vision at the time to Hitchcock.
Yeah.
And Hitchcock was like, "No, I'm going to have you wear glasses." But instead of actually just putting on the fake lenses or whatnot, he was like, "Let's put on something that is totally going to be terrible for you." Basically just blinded her when she had the glasses on because they were so thick. And there are actually scenes that she was like dragging her hand behind to try to stay upright and try to guide herself while standing or while walking. And then she constantly that's why she had two guys next to her.
That's why?
No, in the movie, yes, the story, but she was constantly like clinging on to him because she could not see.
Yeah,
with those glasses on.
I will say she's lucky.
Interesting.
I was gonna say she's lucky she was only in the film for like 10 total minutes, because I mean I couldn't imagine shooting the whole damn movie. Like if she had been Anne and he decided to put her in those glasses, that would have been hell.
Yeah, that would have been real bad.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of, Anne's little sister was annoying as fuck. I didn't like Anne's little sister.
That's Hitchcock's daughter.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Oof.
I'm afraid there'll be a lot of reporters at your front door in the morning.
Oh, Daddy doesn't mind a little scandal. He's a senator.
Yeah,
which she probably needed those glasses, which is why Hitchcock made the other actress wear the glasses.
I mean, it did look like Hitchcock in a dress. I'm kind of with you on that, but man, she was.
I mean,
annoying.
I did like that the two characters did have glasses on, so that way you had that like either he's attracted to glasses or he's like when he was focusing on Anne, and he was like, "Oh, she's got glasses on too. It reminds me of the murder."
Yeah, not Anne though, right?
Not
the sister,
Deborah,
Barbara.
Barbara.
Yeah,
yes, Barbara. They're coming. Yeah, Jesus. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that was one thing I did like about it is that how similar that Barbara and Miriam looked. Like when the first time we see Barbara at the senator's house, I almost thought for a minute it was Miriam, and they lingered on that shot for a while, obviously, so that the audience can go, "What is that? Oh, wait, that's not Miriam." Because I thought, like, holy shit, she's not really dead. Kind of.
She's not really. It's like it's the worst continuity fuck up ever. Like just.
You never know where Hitchcock is going.
It's her twin sister.
Okay. Well, so speaking of that, speaking of that, that's the closest that I can come to flashbacks in this movie. There are no flashbacks in this movie the way that normal film noirs have flashbacks, right? The closest you can come is whenever he sees Barbara and kind of goes back to the murder for a second.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's an interesting way of doing the flashback.
Well, it's really strange. Okay, so I questioned this earlier, and I know I know that you guys are probably going to be a little wonky with me with this, but the film noir genre for this, I don't think it fits very well. Like, I do agree that there's a crime taking place. I am not even arguing that, but there's no narrator, it's not super dark except when it's supposed to be dark. Like the closest that it comes to being dark is probably the couple shots with Hennessy in the hotel room, or the not the hotel room. Isn't that his name?
Haynes. Yeah, the detective.
The detective.
Oh,
yeah.
The detective is it's Hennessy. I thought you were talking about Haynes.
Standing
a
outside.
Couple of shots with Hennessy and Crown Royale, and then like there's no narrator. There's no narrator being like, yes, and then Bruno was on the train. Like there's none of that. That was my Sean Connery is Guy Haines.
It's not bad. He wasn't a New Yorker.
Hey, there was Bruno. He was on the train.
He was on the A train.
My name is Sean Connery. I'm from the movie Highland. Oh, anyway.
Wow.
It can be only one.
There can be only one. Duncan MacLeod. Oh, anyway. In all seriousness, I don't know. I don't feel like it hits enough of the tropes to even call it film noir. I mean, what do you guys think? Like, it seems very, very thinly titled or genred in that way.
I mean, there were a lot of, I don't know. I mean, it was probably not your cookie cutter film noir. Right. Like there was a time where it was just nothing but narrated crime novels.
Yeah.
Put on film.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
But I think this is towards the later end of the film noir genre, and it's Hitchcock too, because I mean he doesn't really play by the rules anyways.
It was based on a book, so there is that for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. When was Double Indemnity? When was that? When did that come out?
That was in the 40s. Right, probably right around 45, 46, something like that.
44.
44.
Yeah. And then Kiss of Death. Okay. And then Kiss of Death was 47. That was your other one that you did. That was
and that was in the height of the film noir stuff.
Okay. I don't know. It just seems strange to me that this one got. I don't know. I feel like maybe they called it a film noir because the film noir was pretty hot. I mean, in general, I mean, in that 10 years between 45 and 55, it was definitely at its peak, right?
Right.
Yeah. So I feel like they were like, oh yeah, it's a film noir. It's got crime and stuff in it, and then they just did their own thing. Like they just went left field and kind of went, we'll have it's got crime in it. Of course, it's film noir, and there's some night shots, you know. Oh, and
I can buy that. Yeah,
I don't know. It seems strange in that way. I thought
so. There was a couple things in the movie that I wish I really enjoyed the movie. I'll go ahead and say that. But there's a couple things that I wish they would have done slightly different. Okay. And I know hindsight's 20/20, right? So, so like in the very beginning, when we meet the two men, you know, we just see their feet. Now they did it cleverly where they were doing the 180, you know, where they had like one guy walking, screen left and one guy walking screen right, you know, and then they both, converge onto the train, and then that's when they meet, right? And then the next thing we see is we go to, we follow Guy for a little bit, for just a couple minutes, and then we start following Bruno for a little bit. I kind of was thinking at that point when I was watching that, I was like, man, it would have been really cool to do this like crossover thing. Like we start with Guy, like we just see Guy getting ready or whatever, he gets on the train, they meet, they do this convergence, and then we start following Bruno. And like, like we take these characters and then we totally flip them with the train as the vessel to do that.
Okay. Yeah.
I was like, oh, that would have been kind of cool. Not majorly like game changing in the story or anything, but the other scene that I thought they would have changed it, hope they would have changed a little bit slightly, was the whole tennis match.
Yeah.
Went on a little bit long.
I was like, oh wait, is this a sports film? Is this labeled for sports film?
Yeah, I felt like I watched the entire match.
But I'll say this: I have never been more on the edge of my seat as a tennis player and an avid tennis watcher. I have never been more on edge in watching a tennis match. It was pretty. It was like, oh.
Have you seen the movie Wimbledon? I mean, Kirsten Dunst puts me on the edge of my seat in that movie.
But you intercut the lighter of Bruno trying to get the lighter, and he's and all that. So I mean, it works, but I do agree it went on a little long.
Well, here's my problem with
we didn't have to watch every match.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Well,
Justin. Sorry.
what I was gonna say is what I wish they would have done slightly different about that was shorten it down a little bit. But the whole premise of that scene is he is trying to beat Bruno to the murder scene so that Bruno can't place evidence, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So the tennis match should have been a metaphor for the match between Bruno and Guy living out in real time, right? So as Guy's playing the match and Bruno is trying to reach for his lighter in the sewer, as soon as Bruno got the lighter, Guy should have lost the match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good. I like that. That makes sense. Yeah. See,
It's like he was winning all the way up until he grabbed the lighter from the
that's what
from
they
the
should have
storm
done.
drain.
So here was
And then he lost.
so I like that idea. Here was my actual problem with the sewer grate scene. There was two problems I had. One of them is kind of whatever, but the first problem I have is how long is this guy's fucking arm?
Yeah, I thought the exact same thing.
How long and thin is this guy's fucking arm?
Yeah, because those, I mean, they were like this. They were like how you gonna get your whole arm down there?
Well, he gets his arm into like the first part, and I'm like, okay, so at least there. But then I have a forearm. I can't just go. And somehow he went and just elongated the shit out of his hand until I mean, I was like, are we watching Fantastic Four now? Like, what happened?
If this would have been like a Naked Gun parody, they would have had this guy with like an 8-foot long arm, like reaching down. You know, like that shot with Priscilla Presley where they pan up from her legs. He's talking about how pretty her legs are. She has this, like, goes on and on and on.
She's got
like
2 sets of knees. 3 sets. Yeah, you got 3 sets of knees. Well, I was like, wait a second, how long is this dude's fucking arm? Like, I get if you can barely get your arm in, then because you see him, his arm stops. But then somehow he's able to like stretch his wrist out.
And then he drops the lighter further down.
Yeah.
And then
what the fuck?
I don't know.
So there was that. And then when he stood up, he's just like, whew, okay. And he's still got his suit on and everything. I'm like, wait a minute. So he managed to stretch his arm out of everything. And even his suit is not even rumpled. I'm like, come on. Like, that was the only piece about that scene. Because I started laughing. I was like, how fucking long is this dude's arm? It's like 4 feet down in a sewer drain, and he's somehow able to reach it. I'm like, I don't like that.
And
but
how hard would it be to remove this sewer drain temporarily?
I feel like it's easier than stretching your wrist bones out. Like
honestly, with all those guys that ended up standing around and watching this dramatic arm lengthening,
what would you do?
They could have lifted it up.
If I saw some dude who was like, look, watch as I take my wrist all the way through, I would watch too. I'd be like, holy shit.
They were stunned. Yeah. They can't believe this guy.
Who needs to go to the carnival down the street?
Look
we
at
got
this. He's one of the freaks.
Fantastic Four here.
Yeah, I know, right?
For the Fantastic Forearm.
Oh, I see what you did there.
All right, I'll see you guys later.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, you know, if I saw Rubber Forearm standing on the fucking street going for a lighter, I'd probably stop and watch too, you know, because I don't know. It was just that part was nuts. That I didn't like that part because of that. If they had just made it shorter and more like, oh, he's reaching for this, and then I like your idea of he got the lighter and boom, you know, Gaines loses. Yeah, Guy loses. I'm down. You know what I mean?
But did you guys notice that he said the cigarette case?
Yes, he did. Yeah.
Oh, did he?
And it was like, well, this is a lighter. Is this also a cigarette case as well?
No,
this is just a lighter. He was
just a lighter.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a complete flub or did he think, I don't know, that they would have gone, oh, well, yeah, cigarettes are expensive. Yeah, right away, sir. You know, and helped him out, or
I think it was just a misspeak, and Hitchcock probably didn't even catch it.
Yeah, it was like, yeah, fuck
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. By the time it was, they were editing. They were just like, oh shit, it's close enough.
It's time for catering.
Yeah.
No one will get this 80 years from now.
No, nobody get the reference. I don't know.
One thing I really did like about the film, the whole beginning, you are bombarded with pairs and doubles.
Yeah.
Did you guys notice that?
Mm-hmm.
It's like you've got two guys, 2 cabs, 2 briefcases. You've got
and 2 songs too.
Yep, 2 songs. They order,
each person has their own song.
Bruno orders 2 scotches.
Yeah.
A pair of scotches, both doubles.
Yeah.
The lighter has 2 tennis rackets on it. Guy's going to the doubles tournament, which he's going to the doubles tournament, but he plays a single match. That's
Whatever.
weird.
Yeah.
Right, whatever. We'll just gloss over that like the cigarette case, and we'll be perfectly fine. No one will notice.
No one will notice.
Nobody knows rules of tennis.
Yeah. So I mean, I thought that was pretty like you're gonna get 2 people in this film. You're gonna get 2 things.
They're coming to have 2 murders.
They're coming from opposite sides. Get it? Opposite side. Damn it, opposites. Yeah. Yeah. The only thing that I thought was I don't know. I actually like the acting in this, which typically I don't with early 1950s films, but it kind of reminded me of that Love with a Proper Stranger a little bit. Like I just like the acting. The mom was funny for Bruno, but not in a funny way. It was kind of a like she was comical, but she didn't seem to be trying. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Anne was a little bit too much like damsel in distress for me, but she kind of turned that around as she became kind of the key reason or the key way that Guy gets out of it. So, and I don't know, Bruno was overacting a little bit, but I thought it kind of made sense since he was obviously homosexual and they were trying to go for some kind of stereotype. And Guy, I didn't hate Guy's acting. I was actually very surprised. All the rest of the actors, whatever, but those I didn't mind. I guess Hennessy was okay too. I mean, Hennessy was fine.
Yeah, I liked Hennessy. He short amount of time on screen, but yeah,
he seems like your kind of character.
Yeah,
kind of the first time I've seen a like a Luger being used as a murder weapon. Typically, it's always revolvers.
Revolver,
things.
Yeah.
It's always a revolver.
38.
And it's always like
38.
snub nose or something like that, and they're always like pointing it way out of frame and up and all that kind of
because
stuff.
that was the preferred, that was the firearm of choice for police officers.
Yeah.
Was a little 38,
Right.
I thought that kind of spoke to like Bruno's need for the exotic or the
that's what I was about to say. Exactly.
Like the theatrical. You know what I mean? He just
was probably Hitler's pistol. Because he has so much money.
Hitler's dog's pistol.
Okay.
Hitler's dog's pistol.
This took a weird turn. Yes, I got it from my friend A. Hitler. What?
Yes.
Jesus.
Hitler's second cousin, twice removed.
Not
Nephews,
Adolf Hitler.
sister's brother.
A. Hitler.
Yeah, it's Adolf
Twice
Hitler
removed.
with no mustache, and he's just like, no, I've not done anything. I don't know what you mean. I have an obsession with painting and papers. What? Jesus Christ.
So one scene I really did like that I mentioned earlier was the party scene where Bruno is strangling the older lady. I really liked the way they did the projected strangling, with Barbara, and how she came to the realization that, oh, this is the guy who killed Miriam and all. I thought that was really clever the way they did that.
The only thing I didn't like about that was when they pan and they pan over to Bruno and tilt up, and his face is orgasmic. That was the problem I had with that. He's like, oh yeah, like without that,
Sometimes they get pleasure from like serial killers and stuff like that. So once he got who knows how many people he's actually killed before this movie.
Right, sure.
I don't get the feeling he's killed anybody though, because he's got PTSD from killing Miriam.
Yeah.
I don't think it's PTSD. I think that's his high.
You think?
Yeah.
Well, okay. Could be.
It could be. I mean, it's just from all the serial killer stuff, just a couch potato serial killer.
Well, that's what I was gonna say.
H.H. Holmes.
But he talks. I think he talks a big game. I don't think he's ever actually done anything. Because remember, he was talking about burning down the White House, and then his reason for why he didn't was because the president would be angry.
Yeah, holy shit, that came out of left field in that conversation.
Yeah.
Well, I do hope you've forgotten all about that silly little plan of yours.
Which one?
About blowing up the White House.
Oh, Ma, I was only fooling. Besides, what would the president say?
Well, the mom talking about it too. She's just like, "Oh, you're not gonna do that, right, Bruno? Like, the fuck? Like, send him to therapy."
Great, Eddie. By mentioning that, Eddie just put us on a list,
right?
I'm just saying. Well, it's very strange. It's very strange in the movie that he would say that, but he's got all these other plans. I just get the feeling he just is nuts, but he hasn't actually done anything. This is the first thing that he's actually done. And I don't think he's taken it as well as he thought he would. Because, I mean, he faints. Why does he faint at the party?
He got too high.
I don't
He
know.
rode that train too long.
Maybe. I mean,
He went a little too far.
it just seemed a little strange that if he's not PTSDing out, I don't know why he fainted, but that look on his face was just very weird. It's not super elongated wrist weird to get the lighter, but it is still a little strange.
Yeah. Okay,
Well,
so
let's,
the scene that I actually say that the movie was very, very. It felt long
Yeah.
in the first 75% of it.
Yeah.
The last 25% was just complete action packed, and I'm like,
Yes.
okay, finally we're getting like some conflict going on here.
I think it could have
And
been 20 minutes shorter, but go ahead.
yeah,
man.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But that ending scene of the chase, like
Was
when
great.
Guy finished up his match and he was on the train,
Yeah.
and everything was like to a beat, and the cops got to the carnival, and then that merry-go-round incident. Holy crap.
Yeah, how anybody survived that at all, I'm surprised.
The cops shoot the merry-go-round attendant?
Yeah, well, there
Like-
weren't a lot of, body cams back then. You could get away with shit like that.
That was like the most shocking part of the movie. I'm like,
Just
oh my god,
opening
did he
fire
just
into a
get
carousel
shot?
crowd.
Yeah, like there are kids on this thing,
Yeah,
and they're just shooting like bang,
Yeah,
when he's
and-
running away too, he's like, and just shoot him in the back. Like,
Yeah.
that's just,
That's
you
how the
can't do
cops
that.
back in
And
the
then-
day we used to shoot everybody.
And then when the carny dies, the lever gets pushed, and I'm sitting here thinking, like, why would they build a carousel that does 1,000 miles an hour? Why are 50 people's lives on the
The
balance?
suspense is killing me.
From trusting a
but-
carny to hold the brake at a specific area.
How fast can we roll this thing?
But the real hero of the film is the old guy that goes
Yes.
underneath the carnival,
Which-
the merry-go-round to
Which was
to
actually
stop it.
practically done. Yeah,
Of
that was
course-
actually practically done.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
The
Of
guy
course,
was
then he
actually
decides
underneath
to just
the merry-go-round.
throw the brake. He decides to throw the brake as hard as he possibly can,
And then everything
kills
just gets
everybody
destroyed.
on the merry-go-round.
When obviously himself
Everybody
too.
dies in the end.
Well, hold
Yeah.
on, but he must have died too, because that center definitely collapsed. So
Oh,
he
yeah.
died as well. Then
He was a
'cause
martyr.
Had to have. There was
just-
definitely more deaths than what we saw.
I just
That's
think
him.
it's
Die, you son of a! And he just
yeah. I don't know the merry-go. I do agree with you, Kyle, that once Haines wins the tennis match, the movie picks up. I
Yeah.
think that 10 minutes of the tennis match could have been cut down,
Oh, for sure.
and probably a solid 10 minutes from the first part of the movie could have been cut
Yep.
down. Because I
Mhm.
mean, I don't think that we need to see quite as much Hennessy, escorting Haines everywhere as we do. I don't think that's necessary.
Mhm. Yeah, we already established that he's being followed by the cops, and
Yeah,
we don't
and-
have to
and-
see it.
Here we are, in every 5 seconds. The only reason I think that it was kind of useful was that it gave us a chance to see Bruno following him more. But at the same time, we get it. Like, especially once the Jefferson Memorial thing happens, I'm like, oh, he's fucking creepy. He's just gonna follow this dude around DC. So I don't know why the additional footage necessarily, unless they just had to shoot it for some reason.
And they brought in the cop. He actually had a speaking role. He had a backstory. He had
Yeah.
all sorts of things that
Which-
were brought into the movie, which I don't really think was needed. But
No.
who knows? It may have brought in how celebrities get treated versus like other people,
Maybe.
because he was a celebrity, so he gets special treatment.
I do know if this movie was made in 2022 and they killed the carnival operator for no apparent reason, that shit would be a commentary on stuff that's happening. Like
Yeah.
he wouldn't just be killed for no reason. They'd be like, do you see how easily he shot the carnival operator? The
Yeah.
merry-go-round operator? Yeah. I mean, that would be a police brutality social
That was
commentary.
definitely a shocking moment of the film. I think the most shocking. I think when the guy just
yeah.
shot into a crowd and just had to shoot this merry-go-round operator at the
Poor
head.
guy.
Like, oh my
He
god!
wasn't
very
doing
weird.
nothing but trying to earn money for his family, to
Right.
feed his
Very
kids.
strange.
He's rolling in it now.
Oh god.
He's spinning in it. So Kyle, do you have any budgetary information?
Yeah. So this film was apparently made for $1.2 million,
Okay.
which is a
Okay.
lot of freaking money back in 1951. But the gross worldwide was about 28 grand.
Interesting.
So even with Hitchcock's name, I don't think it did very well. Which I don't think I've ever heard of this movie before you brought it up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've heard of it because of all the movies that are based off of this movie, like Throw Mama
Okay.
from the Train. Do you ever see Throw Mama from the Train with Danny
It's a great
DeVito
movie. Yeah.
and
No.
what's his name?
Billy
Billy Crystal.
Billy
Yeah,
Crystal,
thank you,
yeah.
Billy Crystal. And the mom is the mom from the Goonies, the crazy evil bitch
Yeah.
mom
Oh,
from the
okay.
Goonies. That's
Yeah.
that's
Nice.
the mom in Throw Mama from the Train. And literally, Billy Crystal is teaching a writing class, and Danny DeVito writes this story about somebody killing his mom and all this stuff, and it ends up being it's basically Strangers on a Train. Like it's almost the same premise. But there's like I can think of like probably 5 or 6 other movies that are based off of this movie. So I don't know. I've always heard about it. I've only seen clips of it. I've never seen the whole movie. So I mean, this is the first time for that.
Yeah.
So in 1951 movie era, you said 1.5 million. That's
1.2 million.
1.2. Okay, I did
Yeah.
1.5, but so 1.5 is around 16.6 million.
Wow.
Interesting.
Thought it'd be more.
Yeah. I mean, it's inflation of 1,006%, basically.
Sure, that's not in the billions. You're missing some zeros there.
Am I? I don't know. It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of freaking money.
Yeah.
But it's Hitchcock money.
It is Hitchcock money. That's
Socks
true.
made of silk money.
No, I'm not missing anything. That's that's 1.5 million here. So Eddie, this was your movie. So why don't you go ahead and score this for us?
Okay, so I enjoyed this movie more than I thought that I would. I don't know why 100%. I don't know if it's because it was Alfred Hitchcock. I don't know if it's because it, in my mind, barely meets the requirements to be a film noir, other than they put it in the genre list. But I don't know. I liked more of the characters than I thought I would. I actually liked Guy Haines' character a little bit. I don't like the long ass tennis scene. I didn't like the little sister Barbara. Is that her name? I didn't like her very much. But overall, I did like pieces of the movie. Some of the Hitchcock stuff that happened, like with that shadow scene or shadow piece in the Tunnel of Love. I don't know. I like stuff like that because it was fairly subtle, but at the same time completely obvious. And anybody who's looking for that kind of subtext is going to be like, oh shit, oh, he's a killer too. He's gonna kill her. Like I don't know. I like that they did that. I don't appreciate the rubber man going for the lighter scene at all. That part was damn near Naked Gun. That was a good call on Naked Gun. So for me, I don't know. I would say that this movie is probably, I would probably watch it again. That's what's fucking weird. Like it's really weird. I would watch it again, I think.
It's high praise from Eddie.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm going to go possibly higher than I should, but I'm going to go 6. I'm going to go 6.8.
Wow.
6.8.
Yeah, that's probably higher than I should go, but yeah.
No kidding.
That's
Dang.
pretty good for a film noir. Kyle?
That's actually really close to what I was going to score it. I was going to give this thing a 7.2. So,
Okay.
so that's pretty damn close for a film noir, Eddie. But I do agree that this definitely does not have all of the tropes as a typical film noir, but I think since it was Hitchcock, he put his own spin on things.
Yeah.
And he made it. I think he might have the same issues that you do about film noirs or about that genre. So he's like, let's take them all out. But it's all speculation.
Well, no, yeah. If they're all the same movie, it gets a little boring. So let's do film noir the way we would do film noir. Like, yeah, I mean, I think I would feel the same way. That's a good. You know what? That's a great point. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
Maybe the carousel scene is a metaphor. All the people on it are different film noir movies that he hates. And he just kills them all.
Beginning with that damn Kearney.
Yeah.
Jesus.
You're all the film producers out there or the movie companies. But yeah, 7.2 for me.
Nice.
All right, so 7.2 for Kyle. John?
See, I think it might be something like Hitchcock goes, I'm going to say this is a film noir, and he's Hitchcock, and no one's going to argue with him back then.
They're like, yes, sir, Hitchcock. Yes, sir.
Yes, absolutely. It's a film noir. Yes, sir.
That's a good point, too. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't question the guy. Everything he touched turned to gold, but apparently it didn't turn to gold. He only made 28 grand after spending 120 million.
No, 1.2 million. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, 1.2 million. That's that today would be considered a bomb.
Oh yeah,
And it's
Definitely not
still, I was going to say, that's still more successful than his 4 previous movies to this.
Really,
Yes,
I did not know that.
financially, yeah.
Huh. But I really did like it. I enjoyed it more than I thought I was going to. I mean, I knew it was Hitchcock, so I knew I was going to halfway enjoy it. But I was shocked at the carousel scene. I did not expect that to happen. I mean, I was like, very rarely in a movie do I actually say something out loud like son of a, holy crap. I was like, holy shit, what the hell's going on? Right. So so that I can definitely respect that. But I really liked the end. I think that I think it ended perfectly. I know some people don't like the ending where it just falls open, everything wraps up in a nice little package, but I really liked it.
yeah, I like that.
I am going to give this one an 8.
Okay, an 8 for John. So yeah, I already talked about some of the scenes that I would have changed a little bit differently. But I'm kind of around the same area you guys are. It was an entertaining movie to watch. I would definitely give it another watch again. I'm sure there'd probably be more stuff you find, that you see on a second watching, possibly.
Yeah.
I did laugh at the carousel or the merry-go-round stuff. It was just kind of over the top for me, but I enjoyed it still. It's interesting. I want to give it somewhere between a 7 and a 7.5, but I'm gonna give it a 7.3. I think.
Okay.
Is
that your final answer?
That is, yes, that's my final answer. So as I'm calculating this out, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but Alfred Hitchcock has famously never won an Oscar for Best Directing. Right?
Really?
He's been nominated 5 times. But he's never won an Oscar. So he was nominated for Psycho, Rear Window, Spellbound, Lifeboat, and Rebecca. But
that might have been a personal vendetta. A lot of people didn't really like him that much.
Yeah. So
he was a pompous ass.
Yeah.
I mean, he really was. He knew he was good, and he's like, I'm just going to say whatever the hell I want to say.
Yeah, and some of the people that are working for him. Yeah, some of the people that work for him, they're like, I don't think you deserve it.
It's like he just says something, he goes, I'm Alfred Hitchcock, and walks away.
Yep.
So Strangers on a Train from 1951 gets a screenwriter score of 7.3.
Nice.
Yeah,
I think that's a really good score for that.
Yeah, I think that's about fair for that. So with that, that concludes season 5 of Screen Riot, which is pretty crazy. We're now somewhere in the 90s films reviewed now somewhere.
Yeah, almost 100.
Yeah, it's getting kind of crazy. And we basically need to spin the wheel to see what genre and what host and what movie they're going to pick for season 6. So get out your thingies, boys.
What?
Yep. And John, are you ready to spin the wheel to see what genre we're picking?
I am ready.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, here we go. Beep, 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 beep.
Oh, if it's film noir. Oh, no.
Oh, shit.
Animation.
That's a way to start out a season.
Yeah, really. We're going to go in the A alphabetical animation first.
All the way down.
All right, go ahead.
All right, here we go.
Okay, I'm out.
It's going to be Kyle.
Wow. Alrighty then.
Here it is, the rare film noir animation. And they didn't make many of them, but Kyle's got his on his list.
Get ready, get ready, Mickey Mouse.
Strangers on a Train, the anime.
Oh,
I'm sure it exists.
That would be terrible. Let's not kid ourselves. Fantastic Mr. Fox from 2009, directed by Wes Anderson, and it's about an urban fox that cannot resist returning to his farm, raiding ways, and then must help his community survive the farmer's retaliation.
Nice.
So,
I have not
okay.
seen this.
I have not seen this either. Eddie?
That's good.
I feel like I've seen it. It's kind of like orangey, like the colors are like super orange and yellow and stuff, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Those
I've
are
seen
the
it.
two prominent
I've
colors in this.
seen it like 38, 39 times. right?
No, I've seen it like once. I wasn't crazy about it. It was okay. I mean, it wasn't
Cool.
a bad movie. But...
Yeah, cool thing about this is it's all stop motion.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's that
okay,
kind of
nice.
animation.
Gotcha.
I haven't seen one of those in a while.
Yeah, sure.
A modern one.
So, thanks for joining us. We're going to take a 1 week break after this episode hits, so don't be expecting something out for a Saturday. Just kidding. We might have something planned. But season 6 will come out very soon, and we're going to be taking a look at Fantastic Mr. Fox. So come back and see us next time. So see you later, everybody.
See ya.
See ya.
Later.